Good morning, guys. It has been a while since I have been on, and I have missed you all. I went to Miami for Winter Party, and I posted two events from Winter Party. Winter Party is organized and produced by the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force, and they throw a circuit party that kicks off Pride season, and the proceeds go towards LGBTQ organizations and AIDS and HIV research funding. And so I love supporting the event. This is probably the fourth event that I went to for Winter Party. And it's in Miami. And Miami is just such a beautiful city that is full of art, great restaurants, and the water is really warm compared to the West Coast. And so I am coming on to talk about season 11. I can't believe it's already season 11, episode 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race. All Stars just finished with the double winners, and I'm still shocked reading all of the headlines about the double winners. But let me talk about season 11, episode 1. So it seems like it's a lot of girls this season. It's definitely more than season 10. But it is a lot of them. So coming into the workroom, my favorites are Silky Ganache. She is just this charismatic, over-the-top personality, and I love it. Actually, Team Silky, and I hope she actually wins it. She's someone that I'm interested in seeing more of. Also, Vanjie. Like, how can you not root for Vanjie? Vanjie came back from season 10, leaving episode 1, and was the meme queen of last year. And probably Vanjie and Silky were my top toots of the week in terms of entrance looks. None of the entrance looks really wowed me. And I mean, you don't really need to wow the audience with the entrance look, but it basically tells people at home who are watching kind of like a little bit about you. I also am a fan of Evie Oddly. I am curious to see more from this queen. Evie definitely is operating on a different level from the other queens. It's very conceptual. It's the furthest thing from pageant, the furthest look from beauty. Evie has a very specific aesthetic, and I really appreciate that. Not going towards beauty, not going towards pageantry, but existing in a world that is completely her own. And so we have Miley Cyrus as the guest judge who goes undercover, and that was a cute moment. And so one of the first things that the contestants have to do is a photo shoot with a photographer that has worked with RuPaul in the past. And Ru actually invited queens from former seasons to actually pose with the current contestants. And I actually really love this. There are some really cute moments. My favorite picture was Silky and Mariah. Like, whoever Mariah was paired with, they were going to win. Mariah's detail to the art of drag has just really catapulted since her season. Her looks have been so polished. I saw her perform one time, and I was gagging from her transformation from her season in terms of like performance to where she was when I saw her. It was like a completely different person. She is a beast on the stage, and I love Mariah. I actually hope that she's in a future All Stars season. So they were my favorite photo, and I was glad they won. And then my second favorite photo was actually Evie Oddly and Adore, which was kind of almost like a weird pairing because like Adore is very kind of like rock and roll in your face, embraces grunge, and Evie is just kind of like not in the same wavelength. But they really worked well together, and that was my second favorite photo. I didn't understand what Vanjie was doing with pheromone. I actually thought that had Vanjie really incorporated Farrah into the photo, um, they could have won. Like Vanjie could have won that because they both looked amazing and they had on similar wigs and almost like a similar style of outfit. And so I was actually kind of like shocked with the direction that Vanjie was going in her particular photo shoot. One of my favorite things during the first half of the episode when the girls were walking into the rooms was when Brooklyn Heights walked into the walk room and raised the Canadian flag, and Evie Oddly said, "Is she international?" I died. I'm going to say that every day for the rest of my life, in the most random situations because it was so hilarious. I guess I kind of like skimmed over the workroom entrances because no one really wowed me. I liked what Mercedes wore. It wasn't kind of like gag worthy. Some of their names I'm still trying to pronounce. Kiria, I think that's how you pronounce it. Kiria Davenport. She was pretty, but it didn't give me like pageant drag, and actually loved the photo that they showed of her. Like I would prefer for her to walk into the workroom like that. Like that look was, it seemed more specific to her look when she's not not on TV. So I actually loved that look over what she wore. Honey Davenport, I wasn't wowed by her look at all, but I actually am excited to see what she brings. The same thing for Raja with an H. It was cute, but it wasn't memorable to me. And so a lot of them just didn't stand out. So that's kind of why they were blah, so that's why I kind of like breezed over it. And the hilarious thing to me is for the photo shoot, as much crap as Jasmine Masters talks about World of Wonders and the Drag Race universe, they feature her a lot. When she popped out, I was gagging, I was laughing, I was on the floor. I was like, Jasmine, like, at this point, you should just stop complaining about World of Wonders. Like, she has a cute show on their YouTube channel. She was featured in Christmas Queens, the current All Stars season, and probably like some World of Wonders commercials. So at this point, they're really paying her bills. So Jasmine, you have nothing to complain about. So this episode seemed to be missing something. It went by so quickly, and I guess because they included Untucked, which I don't remember Untucked from season 10, and so maybe they realized that they needed to start kind of like putting Untucked towards the kind of like the end of the show as almost kind of like one complete show. And so I just kind of like, there was something that was missing. Definitely kind of like the interaction between the girls. What I did not like was the edit that Silky was receiving with the unnecessary comments about, oh, she's so annoying, I can't take her. That all needed to go. That was unnecessary. I didn't like it. It was inappropriate. They could have used it for us to get to know more of the other characters, because I left feeling as if I'm supposed to hate or not root for Silky, but it made me root for her even more, because the other contestants have kind of like pushed her aside and put her in the category of annoying. And so I really didn't like it, and I didn't understand it. Sometimes the editing just goes in a very dark direction for no apparent reason. And for it to be kind of like episode 1, I was really disappointed. This is not my favorite episode. I thought it was boring. I thought it was missing a lot of essential content. And I actually really would have liked for RuPaul to walk through the workroom when the contestants were getting ready. I really liked the moment with Miley Cyrus. She gave them great tips about what to do when you're nervous, but it didn't give me what I needed from the show. And so now the contestants had to use clothing from previous contestants, and I actually thought it was going to be full-on outfits, but it was actually kind of like accessories and fabric, which kind of like didn't make sense to me. And so we have Plastique Tiara, and she literally copied what she walked into the workroom with for the runway. And even though it was beautiful, I thought it was boring, because we had already seen that particular silhouette swimsuit with a cape. I wasn't excited about that at all. But her makeup looked romantic. It was very simple, but it corresponded well with the outfit, but the outfit just did not have a wow factor because I had seen it already. Brooklyn Height really took her outfit into a completely different direction. I don't even remember which trunk she received, but she made this kind of like, it almost looked like latex, like a latex catsuit bodysuit, and it was almost like this kind of like metallic navy blue, and she accessorized it with like these really cool like neon yellow highlights with like a headband with like wrist embellishments, and this beautiful kind of like cape that she kind of like draped and didn't wear as a traditional cape. And so she was my top toot of the week for the runway. I really liked the concept and execution of the outfit. And so then we had Honey Davenport, very blah, unmemorable, something that you could buy at Forever 21 off the rack. Then we had Evie Oddly. I loved kind of like, she had this pink baby doll dress with this kind of like very unusual plastic hood that it really kind of like went with who I think Evie Oddly is, like someone who is going to give you something different from everyone else. Baby doll dress, but with this cool hood, bald head, spray painted metallic pink with glitter, bold pink lip. The eye makeup, it almost seemed like she got caught in the rain, like something was going on with kind of like the lower lids. It went with it, but it just seemed kind of like unfinished or destroyed on purpose. I wasn't sure what was going on with that, but actually really loved the look. Then we have Kiria Davenport, and the look on anyone else could have been boring, but she included 5 wigs that almost hit the floor. The pattern, I couldn't tell if it was kind of like crocodile, and then she embellished certain parts of it with gold, but the gold seemed like a different material. And then with all of the accents, like a neck choker piece, a head piece, it all and these huge earrings, it all worked well together. I think without the wig or the embellishments, it would have just looked very boring. But I liked the execution of it. Then Scarlett O'Hara was very safe, but it was streamlined, very elegant silhouette. This blood red gown with this really beautiful lace detailing, and I think she actually created the hat out of the same material. The hat was very romantic. She had some type of kind of like boa draped across her arms. I really liked her outfit, and actually was surprised that she wasn't in the top contestants of the week. So that really shocked me. And the makeup was actually great too as well. And then Soju, the judges hated Soju's look, but I actually really loved Soju's look. But the contestants made a good point that Vanjie was sent home because she didn't show off her waist. And so I actually thought that this is something that had Kim Chi worn this look, she would have done something differently, but the judges would have loved it. I think what was really missing, kind of like the knots in the back of her shoulder, she needed some type of like tool to drape over it so you didn't see it. So that part looked really unfinished, but I actually thought the execution went really well. Like I loved the floral skirt with the tulle over it. It was very like 50s 60s garment, and so I actually really appreciate it. It was there's something very nostalgic about it. She said that it was specific to the Korean culture, but it was something very nostalgic about the dress. It was very kind of like what a woman from the 1950s would wear. Of course, kind of like a different shape, but something that I would have seen like in like some type of catalog from the 1950s. Raja looked like, before she said the words, I was like, okay, she's giving me Soul Train dancer from the 1970s, completely blinged out in sequins from head to toe. She had on these blood red sequin boots with shorts that were also sequin but a different shade of red. This really kind of like cool navy blue sequin top with this rainbow belt and kind of like these gold sequin furry things happening on her shoulders. Overall, it was a cute look. Then we had Sugarcane, who was blah in like a black cocktail dress, very blah. Vanjie looked right. She took direction from season 10, episode 1, when she was kicked off. She wore red for the entrance look and red for the runway look. And so I loved what she did. She actually kind of like heightened her body with the dimensions of the garment, with the plunging neckline, the billowy train coming from the outfit. The gloves, I love the bold black lip and the black hair. It really kind of like created a actual look and not pieces just thrown together. So I really liked it, and I can't wait to see what Vanjie brings. I didn't I didn't love or like Silky's look. I think something was kind of like unfinished about it. Maybe it was the hair. Maybe it was something about kind of like the sequin cape, but there was something kind of like missing that I needed. And the reveal of the peppermints in the peppermint purse didn't wow me. Okay, so the Montrese girl, Kahana, is gorgeous as a man, but that outfit was not gorgeous. Kahana really reminded me of Derek Barry, and Derek wasn't featured in the photo shoot, so I was confused why Derek was there, kind of like in the intro to the runway, like kind of like playfully behind the camera. So I was like, okay, is this a nod to kind of like one of Derek's looks from Derek's season? And so, had Montrese like added something to it, it would have worked. Maybe kind of like some type of like mesh or tulle over the left side of the body. It might have worked better. But it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst. So I think I went through everyone. So we have Soju and Montrese in the bottom, and we have Brooklyn Heights as the winner of the week. And so Soju and Montrese performed to an old Hannah Montana song, which I didn't really love. And Montrese sold it for me. Montrese seemed a little bit shaky and nervous in certain points, but really sold it. Soju really is in the beginning stages of her drag. I saw Soju perform about 2 months ago in Long Beach at Hamburger Mary's, and it was a cute performance, but Soju needs a lot of work. Soju and actually Ariel performed on the same night, and it was night and day. Like Ariel was just kind of like giving me everything that I wanted, and Soju was giving me kind of like starter drag queen. It's my first 3 months in drag, and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. Soju definitely needs to work on performance. It probably is kind of like one of the most difficult performances to watch in Drag Race history. So Soju, I hope that you really work on your performance, because people want to see a drag queen perform, not just pose on stage. And actually, she wasn't posing. Like there are a lot of look queens who are models, who can give you like Kim Chi is someone who doesn't dance, but the aesthetics and the passion and the energy, you can feel it kind of like oozing out of her. And so, Soju, I wish you luck with figuring out your drag. Montrese, I'm glad that you stayed, and I can't wait to see more from you. So this concludes my review, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Soju should have left? Do you think Montrese should have stayed? Do you think someone else should have been in the bottom? I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Have a wonderful day. Besos.